they're not going to be having too much of a fun time. I feel like Aphelios can kind of just laugh at them as they run straight into him. And with the lack of synergy with the composition, it's definitely going to be a little bit frustrating. The Renekton done, especially for Closer, who is the new guy on the block here for T1. Obviously a big story, replacing Faker for today's games and having a good performance, a POG-winning performance in game number 1. And we've seen some Akalis, namely Faker has played some Akali himself. I want to take a look at it. Yeah, it was just the one game where he did struggle, of course, did take the loss. But Closer looking to shore up some of the Akali win rates here in the LCK.
We'll see if he can get a double player of the game performance. Akali is definitely the champion that can help you do that. Especially in this lane matchup, things can be set up for that. Quite nice. And we're taking a look at all the runes. Nothing really too surprising here coming out.
Yeah, I don't really see anything too out of the ordinary on here. No scorches or anything like that taken. Not too much sinning. A lot of yellow on the side of KT.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected with the champions that they have picked. And I also just want to see more action in this game. We could get just a little bit more. Take a look at this win rate. How many times have we seen Renekton try to come into the lane and, try to counter, quote unquote, the Camille, when the Camille is 18-4.
Yeah, I mean,
in the matchup.
The interesting thing is, it almost feels like especially in the LCK, the teams that draft Camille, she's much more of a scaling champion, and you know how I feel about Renekton.
Yeah,
so
we all know about that.
There is a interesting thing coming out sometime next week about Renekton. There was also the Reddit thread about him recently, about teams that pick him across the various regions and what ends up being the case in the majority of games. So that was a very interesting read. KT obviously blinded him here, and Canna elected into the Camille. So we'll see what ends up happening. I feel like he's been doing pretty good so far here today.
Yeah. He gave his vote to him for his flat performance in game number 1, and we did see a lot more Camille coming up in recent times, to the point where teams were like, is this champion just good enough that we can just straight up blind pick it? And didn't have too much success there, but I think the context of the games was important as well, and the teams that were picking it up. And so now we've kind of, sat back and gone back to just straight up counter-picking Camille rather than just blinding it early on in the pick ban phase.
And I think in this game in particular, both Camille and Akali, it's not super easy for KT to really hold them down, even though they have Ezreal and Azir. The surrounding pieces that are meant to protect these champions are pretty lackluster. So even though there's a top 10...
big trade up here, Smeb. Is going to get swept as well. Canna on the run, but here comes Malrang, going to flash on in, trades it there as Cuz not able to close the gap, get any face breakers or anything like that, so it is just going to end up being a trade in flashes.
And one of the interesting things here is Malrang living up to his old tradition. He's looking to sin. Gets spotted out on a ward, however, and so now he's going to waste a lot of time potentially. No, actually immediately backs off and then recalls. And so now everyone knows where he's going to be for the foreseeable future. And the reason that Camille actually still channels the recall is has to respect that Volibear still might be completely sinning out of his mind, and they might try to coordinate some sort of a weird sort of dive if Camille is missing any amount of HP. So just recalls, picks up the double Doran's Blade, has the refillable potion as well, in a much better lane state than that of Renekton. Closer doing a very good job at sustaining so far in this lane. UCal is up a bit in the CS department, but it's not the end of the world. It's how the lane tends to go. Double teleport, so we shouldn't expect a whole lot. Mountain Dragon, first one of the game. Pretty important pickup for both of these parties.
Yeah. Closer just farming it out. He's still going to have his TP for if he does need it. He's got set nearby, but he's still going to be extremely careful. We see that Closer's almost 6, so UCal should be very close at the same time. Don't want to get too close and potentially comboed there as Volibear does actually run towards mid. Will be spotted, throws up a little kitty cat.
And KT is going to be the first ones to start up the Mountain Dragon. Does not look like there's any possible response by T1. So it should be a nice little victory for them. And we're playing ping pong.
Oh, they actually want to get in there. As the Lantern's going to come in, Malrong, remember, he doesn't have flash, so he's waiting. Effort with the flash forward. There is going to be the hook, and I think it's going to be a trade of the Dragon for first blood that is given over to Teddy. Importantly, as he is a bit behind on the CS, there's a massive wave for him to catch, though.
Yeah.
So they're just going to go in on UCal, who was definitely not expecting this. The ult comes in, and how did that Q miss?
He still got him, though.
Yeah. Oh. Not enough, actually.
Oh, did not have another.
Yeah, I guess maybe he was low on energy, as that was extremely close. UCal surviving at, just by the hair of his chinny chin there.
Closer blundering with the Q. He could have just held it to guarantee with the flash. And so, definitely UCal escaping.
Okay. Got Smeb in a little bit of an awkward spot, but Malrong is coming over. That was a really nice use of the Blast Cone, but he had to wait a long time, and now Cuz is going to pay the price for that. As no stun is going to go down onto Canna. Malrong can't close the distance. Here comes Closer again, but no ultimate, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure what the teleport was. Obviously, Canna was like, no, I have to go back top lane. There's a giant wave, so T1... Even though they just found themselves in a really good position, they get themselves back into a worse one. And, oh, man, the lane state is so ugly for Canna up here. This is really brutal because Volibear's in close proximity, and Kanna's forced to respect it, and he doesn't have flash. So, set on the opposite side of the map. Let's see if Smeb puts the pieces of the puzzle together, and yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it should be pretty obvious, I think, but the stun is going to come in, and now Canna with hookshot down will be dead. And there were only like 2 or 3 range minions left, so definitely greeting out for those.
This is one of those situations where Cuz, his hand is forced, he must immediately go back to top lane, or else his top laner just can't play the game. So we were able to see that just by the lane state in top. There's no way for Canna to play this differently. And if you want to turn your brain off and say, well, he should just give up all of the waves, well, yeah, I mean, I guess. Sure, let's just do that and fall down 2 levels in top as Camille. And obviously that's not a good solution. So, a bit of a blunder on rotations here.
Okay, he's going to get the flash out of Ezreal on top of everything else. Aiming, feeling the pressure, and finally Cuz is able to get something done. Really trying to push the Teddy win condition in this game. You can feel it from T1. They're saying, well, we gave him first blood. Let's focus on, Canna will eventually scale, I guess, whatever. We'll just leave him to die. But Teddy, that's where our eggs lie. And, I mean, he was able to get a bunch of plates here already against that first blood. And he has caught up in the CS, so should be expected to carry as this game comes along.
And we just take a look at this replay. There's really not much that anyone can do. So when Cuz dies here, his death timer, I doubt that they're going to show it, but you take a look at the top wave on the minimap, and that's why it's so doomed. I mean, this is a forced play. And it's just really unfortunate. Canna trying his best to get out of it, but not able to in the end. The kill went over to Smeb.
Yeah.
It's a 700 gold lead for KT, but the XP in some of the positions is definitely one of the problems. We actually take a look at it. Smeb 3,600. Canna is at 2,900. So quite a big discrepancy between the two.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 kills. On top of course, winning in the CS, based on the way that the lane has gone. And take a look at where Malrang is as well. He's just chilling on a control ward in the enemy jungle and saying, well, I'll wait until I see Camille again and then maybe just run top once again. He almost has his ultimate available too, so you could consider going for that kind of a dive as Renekton checks the brush. I'm just looking at the minimap here. And yeah, they're going to clear out that ward. Will anybody be here to help Canna is the question. Nobody has TP, and he might just have to back away from this one, cuz runs up top. But Malrang thinking twice, not going to just head in for the dive just yet, and so Canna will be safe.
Well, Cuz is just looking for anything that he can really do, but he's behind his set, and when set falls behind in a Ditto matchup, things get really ugly. And hold on.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, the Ignite's gonna come down here into the root, and there you go. He's actually gonna hit the Moonlight Vigil onto aiming. So yes, he does a bit of damage to aiming, but Tucson will get away, still had the heal available. And now we're going for it again. The root comes down as Tucson just runs into his death teams. Up in the top lane now, Cuz just gonna get burst down and Canna's too low. Closer's going in though, over the divide and in for the kill. He's gonna get the one. And just like that, we see the power of Akali around this Azir. As now we're trying to dive onto aiming here. Do they have the damage? They've got a massive wave, and I think they're just going to try to run him down. There you go. Takes the Lantern and gets another kill, and so that Teddy win condition is still there for T1, even though the top lane is kind of getting ravaged right now.
Yeah, and that was a really hero attempt by Closer up in top because it really saved the position for Canna. And we take a look at this. I mean, Smeb does get yet another turret plate, but T1 did bite back down in bottom, and that was super important because Teddy is going to be so crucial in trying to salvage this game. We take a look at it. Gravitum, Teddy uses Moonlight Vigil. It goes in onto aiming. And let's take a look at how this follow-up happens. Tushin and aiming, they're looking for some flash over.
Yeah.
They sense blood in the water. They capitalize on it immediately. Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Sir Grompulus, not really looking to be bothered.
Yeah.
Right now. It's not really, he's not feeling it. So.
Sir Kenshin's too. He's feeling pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the way he's waddling right now. He's really looking for the plays. And seemingly trying to get some vision down with Tucson. Gets caught out and gets a big chunk taken out of him, but because the way that the jungle matchup, I suppose, is going, they're able to just move on over, take the dragon. They had all the vision in the river at the same time.
Yeah.
So even though they don't have priority in the bottom lane, still able to take that one as Canna is not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
Later the Rune King Renekton 3-0. And really healthy CS numbers as, okay, he's going to get swept, but in for the kill. The Q is going to miss, and Closer will be able to pick up the kill, but goes down as now Effort is going to bite the dust. You can see that Teddy desperately trying to get that kill to follow up. A nice gank by Malrang, it seems, down on the bottom side to net them a kill onto Effort.
And so T1, they're down about 1,500 because this turret's about to fall. Smeb's gonna get. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Did I just watch Renekton not kill it before the plates fell? I think.
Wait. Maybe he was so focused on denying.
Yeah, I think that's actually what happened. Because
We'll
it was 1402 when the turret died, but. If we take a look at the replay here, set goes down. Canna looking like, no, we're not doing that. And Closer's like, yes, we are. Flips over. And then it was a bit of a buffet. And we take another look at this replay right here, too. Closer, yet again, sensing blood in the water, jumps right onto Yukel.
Nearly dodges the knock.
Yeah. Follows him through. Ends up being a love shot, but UCal getting the better end, right? 400 gold going over to him, 300 for Closer. Let's take a look at how this transpired. Effort not able to do a whole lot, gets the box, picks up Malrong with the death sentence, but not a kill trade able to be given back over. So T1 in a bit of an awkward situation right now, 1,500 gold deficit. They do still have a lot of options to make sparks fly in the later stages of this game. Teddy now, probably just gonna let, no, not gonna let some of the minions die.
Yeah, like that's a moment where you would wait. Not like the moment that Smith did up in the top side. I really wish we could have gotten a replay there, but unfortunately we don't have a direct line of communication to Dona Strong. But that is all good. See that, obviously a massive amount of gold right now in the pockets of Teddy as they take down that bottom turret. He's 2-0-1, already getting started on a second item here at 15 minutes. And it's going to be good, I think, against the Fed Renekton. We'll see how it does up against the Azir Ezreal.
Yeah.
But definitely kind of a divided composition for KT.
Canna could have just froze top lane. That was a cannon minion with melees there to tank. He has double Doran's Blade for lifesteal. He could have held it indefinitely, and Renekton would have been recalling. So there's no objective on the map for 2 minutes. That means this cannon wave plus the next wave that's going to come out from the Nexus in a bit, Renekton wouldn't have gotten any of it. An EXP or gold, that is things that T1 could do at this stage of the game to slowly close the gold deficit and recover in this position. But look at Renekton, he's going to run up to top, he's going to get this wave, and he's going to get the next wave that would have otherwise just gone into the void.
Yeah. And when you push it out in that manner, with none of your own wave dying, if you just leave it there, it's going to push back towards KT because they're all grouped up and they're going to get that first shot onto on the front side. And Smeb even could have just, sat there and said...
Smeb could have done the same thing because his teleport's almost up. So, a minute until Dragon.
It would have been a little bit more dangerous because there is, a little bit of a lack of vision in the enemy jungle, but he's very far ahead. But either way, we're just pushing minions back into each other and giving each other some farm. That's just the way it goes here in the LCK.
I'm curious to see if we'll see Leandri's out of aiming this game on Ezreal. I don't think it's really hit the LCK yet. I do see a longsword, but that could easily just still be Death's Dance. Going into that build doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be Blade of the Ruined King. And Teddy picking up the red buff, very big before this Infernal Dragon. Now, a lot of the gold that KT did...
Closer, a little bit of trouble. He's trying to get on top of UCal here, but he gets caught out towards that Infernal. You can see that the rest of his team was just, they were nowhere near him. It's not like T1 were really grouping up, trying to make a big play towards the Infernal.
Oh!
That's going to be a nice hook, but Tom Kench exists. And Ezreal also exists as a champion, able to hop away. And there is the flash, trying to deny that one. The exhaust comes in, but both supports are going to do their job and save their teammates.
And KT, I mean, they're playing a pretty slow and steady game, and this time they're going to be the ones that are on the positive side of this. Canna trying his best to get this turret, but UCal is now here. Ooh, True Shot Barrage even doing quite a bit of damage to the Camille. And KT in a bit of a rough spot. Or T1 in a bit of a rough spot. Yeah, just spoke.
So I think Closer saw him going to the brush there.
Yeah. They end up finding him, not a whole lot that he could do there. KT just very close, or quick, to collapse. Now, this is a few times over that Closer has really tried to do some heroic plays to try to set the stage for T1 to be successful. And on 2 of them now, he's really thrown it away. The 1-for-1 in mid for Azir, it's always better for the scaling champion. And not that Akali doesn't scale, but obviously KT with the position that they're in, things are quite good for them. 2,500 gold lead almost. Well, a little bit more than that if you factor in the Infernal and Mountain.
Yeah.
Stats that are also being given over.
And you mentioned 2,500. I thought you were going to say it was for the top lane, because actually that's also the difference in the top lane. It's the difference between the two teams, but also the difference between Renekton and Camille right now. 2,500 gold. And T1, you can see they're going to try to set up vision here around the Baron that did just spawn. And we're going to go in kind of a side lane, kind of a pressure game right now with no big objectives that either team can take right now.
Yeah. Ooh, and Canna getting quite a few Grass of the Undying procs. Over Smeb, doing a pretty good job in that regard. Black Cleaver almost complete for him, though. We'll end up getting that soon. And Smeb now just going to go over and get his golems. Not a whole lot going on, though. 2 minutes and 20 seconds until that Infernal. That is going to be the cataclysmic fight between these two teams. Infernal, I mean, if T1 loses the soul, they lose the game, 100%. If they get the dragon, they buy themselves a lot more time for Akali and for Camille to try to get to more items. Philios also as well, can't really be understated. And this is one of the games where, so you see the Oblivion Orb and the Sork Pen boots on Akali. No one has MR on the enemy team. It's really good to have all that penetration.
Yeah.
If Closer doesn't have the gold to complete into anything before this Infernal, he might just pick up Morello and then also get an Elixir to try to maximize as much damage as possible.
One of those
there it is. Well,
spots.
The book and a control ward. Not quite sure what exactly his gold is at, but he has a minute and a half.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about the Teddy win condition for T1 earlier on in this game. And it does still stand. I mean, he's still really fed. He just picked up his third item, Phantom Dancer here, for a little bit more survivability up against, obviously, that backline access that KT have as a team. But, you know, we mentioned him. We also have to mention Aiming, who was, after his 2-item spike, already hitting like a truck, even with just a couple of Mystic shots in the mid lane around the turret. Part of the reason why that did go down so easily with the Rift Herald earlier on, about 4 minutes ago. And he's going to be a menace in this fight at the same time. So don't count him out. As they're looking to go over the wall here, Canna able to get a decent amount of value there before the fight even begins.
This is one of those situations where you have Azir. You can try to just burst down the Infernal and Shurima or Emperor's Divide the enemy team from being able to enter. I wish I could draw on the screen right now. I would draw a line where Aiming is right now and just close that off.
We're going in. They're looking to get that damage down. The hook comes down onto the Tom Kent. That's a really nice ultimate from Cuz to get Balrog into the back line. That's going to be the first one, and now look at Closer closing in like a shark. But he's not quite able to find the angle on time. So T1 able to get the pick off onto the jungle, and so KT are going to be very apprehensive to just run at the dragon at this point.
Philios, he has Caitlyn and Cog available to him.
Good Closer. Oh, spots him. Spots him over the wall with the scanner.
Sweeper is seeing. He might actually try to slice and dice over and then chain. But no. Oh, man. Yeah, and there's no jungler. So this is huge. It's really, really, really big. Akali loves Infernal Dragon. She gets dual scaling from it, which is so important for her as a champion. But it buys T1 an enormous amount of time. This is 5 more minutes for Set to finally get a second core item, for Camille to try to make it to her second core item. Now let's take a look at how it all starts. So with 30 seconds until that game-deciding dragon spawns, KT decides the moment is now or never. Leroy Jenkins right into T1, and a beautiful play out of Cuz to get the face breaker, superplex right back into his teammates and just get the kill onto Volibear. And from there, they were able to thread the needle very slow and patiently to get themselves that Infernal Dragon. And it's so big for them at this point in the game. They're only down 700 gold right now. And the Camille and Akali, again, because the defensive linemen of Volibear, Tom, and Renekton are not super good, they have a lot of value. Also, the clump up, or how clumped up KT should be in fights, Aphelios actually gets a lot of value.
Yeah, the clumpedness.
The clump. I wanted to say Humpty Dumpty.
The clumptippity, maybe?
Is that a word?
No, it's definitely not a word.
It can be a word now.
Yeah.
You want to make it a word?
That's what I was saying. Or
With
like
the power
Shakespeare,
of
we just
the
make up
collective,
words.
we can
Yeah.
clump.
The clumptippity of the
Clumptippity.
enemy.
Yeah.
Clumptippity?
Clumptippity.
Okay, yeah.
That's the word now.
Okay.
Clumptippity.
I'm okay with that. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Teddy's like, okay, I guess I'll just steal the Drake then. Or not the Drake, the turret. And all of a sudden, it feels like T1 are really re-energized in this game after that last fight. Kind of proved to themselves that, hey, we can take a fight. If KT just runs straight into them, the Aphelios was getting value before. Now he's got a QSS to make sure that he is going to always be available on top of the Phantom Dancer. So he will survive and also do a lot of damage. They're looking to rotate up to the top lane. There's no vision in here, but Yukal looking to run away.
Oh, man. Well.
And, well, yeah, he's going to put down the Emperor's Divide, but that's not going to do much.
Buddy.
Yeah, see you later.
Oh, no, doesn't get suplex.
And he actually gets the kill. It gives it over to Teddy.
Yeah.
And there was a shutdown. So that is a lot more gold now into the pockets of Teddy here.
And Death's Dance is going to be picked up soon by Canna. I feel like T1 are in a pretty good position right now. Yukal does have teleport available, so I don't think that T1 should get over antsy and do a Baron. That would definitely be a little bit disastrous. True Shot Barrage is going to come out and check. Does chunk a bit out of effort, and Cuz also puts the bone plating on cooldown on set. As Akali's build a little bit stunted right now. We'll see if she picks up a Fiendish Codex here. Okay, so trying to go into Zanya's, and now effectively has the item. Because you have the AP from Fiendish Codex. Yes, you're missing out on the armor, not the end of the world. You have the active on stopwatch. So Closer is going to be basically the same champion for the next 8-9 minutes, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we'll see what they manage to do with it. Yukal just really overextended because he ran up into top lane to try to get those minions that were coming into him.
He really desperately wanted to push.
Yeah.
He just needed to put on that pressure, you know?
Yeah.
He wanted to really force someone to go up there when there's no objectives on the map. Yeah, it was a little bit of a boneheaded play for sure, and he paid for it. And you notice that he didn't even flash. He's like, no, I'm caught, I'm dead. Like, and it ended up being the right decision, right? Because he had the TP just in case T1 were just going to run at the Baron, and I think they could have definitely turned. It's not like KT are really behind in this game at this point, so. But then T1 responding with a good decision of their own to not go for it. But as the time does tick along, yes, the Azir and the Ezreal are going to be scary here in this game, but the Camille split push is it's getting better and better. You can see he's about to hit level 16 here, and he's honing in on that Death's Dance as his next item.
Really close to having it, and 20 seconds now until the Infernal is going to come up. Aphelios is at 4 items. Smeb is in no man's land. He's about to get the bad news.
Yeah, they're looking to do it again.
Yep.
And now we have Abyssal Voids. Maybe they can try to close in here. TP also will be channeled, and Canna is just going to nearly get burst down because does insane damage as well as Aphelios, which is just re-hitting in the back line, finally goes down. And Smeb is unbelievably tanky and super fit in this game, so that's the only reason they were able to go from there and actually have a couple of kills come through, but that is a big win going the way of T1 as now they look to push.
They're going to end.
Well, Cuz is
14 seconds on. Hold on, let me try to... No, they can't end that.
Nah, there's too many turrets.
They could get it to Inhibitor. They could definitely go for Inhibitor, but I think making sure that you get the Infernal. I will say, this was the most value out of a Renekton I have ever seen in my life right now. This was Godzilla, is what was happening in the team fight.
Closer in the back.
Trying to do so much. Closer managing to get into the back line. But just really unfortunate start for KT. And T1 really capitalizing, and I feel like they're stealing this game away from KT that had such a good game state. And really, it's all on Malrong at the blue buff, trying to dive onto T1 20, 30 seconds before that Infernal Soul for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and you know, we don't really know who's making the call, but he's definitely leading the charge, right? So it does make him look a little bit silly, as that's going to be a nice amount of poke damage going down onto effort. You can see that KT are not going to give up without a fight, but it's definitely looking dire. Okay, they're just going to run at Baron.
Oh, this is the sign of tilt.
They're like, you know, F this. We're doing Baron.
All right, well.
That Renekton, though, he's going to have a nice little angle. Spotted. He's going to get the stun down and Closer immediately at half health.
Yeah.
Actually, at third health.
And there's not a minion wave in close proximity in mid, so Closer can't heal up with this Gunblade.
Malrong takes a bit of damage.
I don't understand. Why did you just let the Baron?
Yeah, they let it leash. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, you gave Closer a lot of time to TP back in.
Here comes Effort. That is a massive hook, and going on in, they take out the Volibear! And Aphelios is going to steal it as he is out of there. Canna able to survive. Teddy's still full health, looking for the play, onto aiming. He has the range, and he's going to snipe him down from over the wall. As now Closer is going to lead the fight here. And then the rest of them just going to be on the run. Smeb looking for the stun, wants to try to get it. Does he have the damage? The answer is no. Of course it is Aphelios on 4.5 items. And maybe now is the time that T1 can end the game.
Not even Godzilla can beat 200 years. Just remember that.
Time takes everyone.
Well, I think that is going to be all she wrote in this game. Now, Malrong is up with Stormbreaker available. There is low HP value on Canna, but it's an Aphelios. So, the Baron enhanced minions, he's just going to jump in.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. He's just going to get melted because he is a 2-item Volibear. So, turrets are going to fall, and that is going to be T1
Closer
closing this